Hi, welcome to another tutorial for Mathematica. Today we're going to learn about how to integrate in Mathematica. For that, there is two approaches in Mathematica that's possible, but I would like to emphasize on the function, the term integrate and then do it. But I just want to show it to you. So you go to palettes, you go to Basic Math Assistant, then you go to the basic commands, and there's a calculus commands right over here, and then you click it. So there's a couple of calculus commands in that tab. And so D, I believe we remember from the previous class what we learned about differentiation. Then this is what integrate is, what we're going to learn about. And I just want to show this indefinite integral. Just clicking this one, and I'm gonna click integrate. So today what we're gonna learn is about this, but I just want to show you all know what the symbol is. So I just want to put a variable x square, an expression, and then it's integrated with respect to x. So I'm going to get an answer x cubed by 3. And similarly, if I use this function integrate and then put an expression of same one, x squared with respect to x, I'm getting the same value, the same outputs. So if you want to check if your answer is correct, the simple math is like to do differentiation of this output. So it's gonna be, let's see, x and then close, that's x squared, so which is our answer. So this is how we kind of learn how to integrate it. So a couple of problems I want you all to try it out using the integrate function. Using this symbol and doing it can take more time. So I personally prefer using this function integrate and called just similar to the differentiation function. So this is one problem that I want you all to try it by yourself. So it's going to be x cubed cos x raised to 4 plus 2. I want this answer. So pause the video, try it by yourself, and then come for the answers. I believe you guys have done it. So it's going to be integrate function, I'm calling it, and then I'm going to open the bracket. I'm just going to copy this. So now I'm going to do my editing. As we know, all the trigonometric function, it should be starting with a capital letter, cos x raised to 4. Okay, all right. So comma x, close the square brackets, and you press shift enter. Your answer is 1/4 sine 2 plus x raised to 4. This is just the previous equation what we wrote. So to avoid that to occur, you just put a semicolon, and again just try to run it. Yeah, so this is your answer. So the next problem that I want you all to try is x squared sine x. How do we do this? So pause the video, try it by yourself, and get back. So integrate, you open the bracket, x squared sine x, comma x, close the bracket, enter. Looks like there is some sort of problem. So I'm going to put a semicolon here because I don't want this value to be repeated over here. So I'm just going to put that, and then I'm going to press this. Something doesn't look really good in this output. I mean, that's not the answer. So I understood what the error was. I missed a square brackets at the sine x. So once you press shift enter, well, this is the answer. So just in case this is pretty big and you're a little bit confused, you can plug in this equation and try to differentiate it over here to check if our answer is correct. And let's see. And okay, so I'm gonna simplify it further to see if that's correct. There you go. So that is x squared sine x. So it's somewhat similar to what we did in the previous tutorial of differentiation, where you get the answer, you integrate it, you differentiate it, and then maybe you might not get it, and then you simplify it, you get the final output. So this is how you do it. And then just to go a little bit more complex, like having a numerator and denominator. So I'm just going to put all semicolon here. Oops. So that I don't want these outputs to be repeating here. All right. So, and this is going to be x plus 2 and x squared plus x. So I want you all to pause the video and try this out. So I'm going to use the integrate function. I'm going to call this equation. I'm going to copy. I'm going to paste this over here, comma x, and enter. So my answer is 2 log x minus log 1 plus x. So I'm not going to go more in detail in this integrate function because it's almost similar to what we did in differentiation. But there are a couple of errors that we can use. It's almost similar to the previous one. That is, like, common errors is like you're using integrate comma x square x, and then you do it. I mean, you get an output of something which is weird. Yeah, the main reason is I used small I, but we are supposed to use capital I, and then if you try to run the output, you get x cubed by 3. The same error that happens is basically when we try to use curly brackets, like just like in the previous differentiation, what I've explained. You use curly brackets, you get some weird answer, and just go there, correct it to square brackets, and then try to enter. You get x cubed by 3. And again, we forget to put integrate x square, and you just close the bracket, and you get an error saying integrate call with one argument, 2 or more arguments are expected. So basically what I missed out is basically a comma x, and then when you try, you get the answer. So some of the common errors are as follows. Like, one is using integrate with small I instead of using integrate with capital I. So make sure that you use capital integrate, you open the bracket, square brackets, you type in the expression, then comma x, whatever your variable is. In sense, if you are pretty hard in in memorizing, just go to the palettes, calculus commands, and you click on this integrate. You get a kind of a function, integrate, expression, and a variable. So it kind of explains it all. The next common error that, as we had seen earlier, is using curly brackets instead of using square brackets. So over here, that's one error which I already showed you earlier in the examples above. So if you didn't understand, please go back and watch the video again. And then the last is using not I mean forgetting to put the x or the variable which again I showed you earlier. The next is if we are integrating with respect to x and we miss to put x, no output will be generated and an error will be displayed. So just want to make sure again, using integrate, use integrate capital I, and then using square brackets, and do not forget to put with respect to what we are integrating or differentiating, or else you would get an error, which like what I've shown you earlier. Please go back in the video and try to recollect all the errors and things so that we would be more familiar with this function. The integrate function, what we saw so far was indefinite integrals. I just want to give you some light on definite integrals. For that, I'm going to palette basic math assistant. I'm going to my calculus command. What I'm talking about is these definite integrals, where we have integration with a lower limit, upper limit, and expression of the equation, and with respect to what you're differentiating. So for this, an easy command is this integrate definite. So yeah, this is the expression, so which is much more easier. So in order to get an understanding, I'm going to solve a problem where it says it's going to be the numerator is 1, denominator is 5x, denominator is 5x minus 3 the whole square. Alright, so I want to integrate this equation with respect to x, which has a limit of lower limit of 1. Alright, I'm just putting a semicolon here. A lower limit of 1 and upper limit of 2, and the expression is this with respect to x. So the equation, the answer, the output what we get is 1 by 14. So what happens if we substitute the same expression in this integrate function? So please notice that these curly brackets is put in when you have a set of limits. So we are defining the variable x with a lower limit of 1 and 2. So we define that limits, and then you are executing it, you're getting an output of 1 by 14. So if I need to convert fraction to decimals, what do we have to do? I can put a capital N in front of the integrate and try to execute it. I would get a fraction, a decimal. Yeah, so that is this value. When I put this N integrate, I get this value. So how do we change this output into a decimal? If you recollect, we have done in the first tutorial, I believe, we put / capital N, and then you press shift enter. There you go, you get an answer. So the output for this is this long decimal. Just to familiarize with this integrate function with limits, I want to give you one more problem. The problem is x cubed sine x plus 2 log 3x raised to 2. So you have to differentiate, integrate it with respect to x, and the limits is 0 and pi, 0 to pi. So pause the video, solve it for yourself. Well, I'm going to use the integrate function, open the brackets, square brackets, copy this, want to paste it. I'm just going to edit this a little bit. S should be capital S, it should be, X should be in square brackets, log L should be capital, this should be in square brackets, and X, X comma 0 to pi. I believe that's it, and enter. Well, we are getting some sort of error. Well, I purposely missed out the curly brackets over here just to show you why this error had occurred. So if I put that curly brackets on the limits, you're going to get a very wonderful, beautiful, long answer. So how do we convert this into a decimal? It's just like earlier we discussed, put n, capital N over here, you get 28.15, which is the answer. So thank you all for watching this. Hopefully you all understood how to use the integrate function. Go back, try to solve more problems, and stay tuned.